You might have gotten 100% in Silksong, but there is still more to do by completing the Materium. In fact, did you know that there's an unused achievement icon for collecting every item in this thing? So you find the Materium in the Citadel's Memoriam, and Hornet decides to create a little museum for herself. Most of the items that go into the Materium you'll find naturally throughout your playthrough. Things like rosaries, shell shards, and silk are basically impossible to miss. In fact, it makes me wonder what a low percentage Materium run would look like. How many of these items could you dodge while still beating the game? That could definitely make for a fun speedrun category. Anyways, another set of items that you need to collect are elements found throughout Farum. For example, at the core of Mount Fae, you can find a big chunk of magnetite and inspect it to log this entry. These can actually be a little bit tricky to find. In fact, in my playthrough, the very last entry found in my Materium was the flintstone, which can be found tucked in the corner of the deep docks. But then there are a few entries that are related to quests that you might not even know exist because they're not needed for the 100%. If you head back to the Alchemist in Act 3, he'll give you a quest where you need to extract Plasmified Blood from a few enemies. There's actually a pretty good reward for this quest in addition to the entry for the Materium. The Alchemist will give you the Plasmium gland, which gives you infinite access to Plasmium. You no longer need to run back to the Wormways if you use the Plasmium file too much. But if I were to guess, I would think the rarest Materium entries are the Queen's Egg and the Liquid Lacquer. You get these two entries by completing two different courier entries, and the reward is just Rosary, so I gotta imagine most people skip this. The Queen's Egg isn't too bad, you just need to make it to Styx in Sinner's Road, but for the Liquid Lacquer you have to make it all the way to the top of Mount Fae, and you only have 3 hits. And I learned the hard way that you cannot use Silksong because you'll take a hit when you bonk your head. Pretty tough stuff, but it was nice to see a fully completed Materium. I'm curious to see how many of you all have bothered to track down all of these items and subscribe for more.